And a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I mean...
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Mickey, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my mind.
Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. You're...
I'm having a terrible time.
I might just open it with that.
That's perfect.
That's great.
That was not bad at all. Hello and welcome to another episode of Dookie Spookies.
Boo! I didn't mean to do that.
The podcast where we watch bad, scary movies and rank them in an ever-growing list to discover what the worst horror movie of all time is. I almost said the best horror movie.
That's not what we're doing.
The best worst, if you will.
I'm not even that.
Yeah, literally
just the worst.
No, I guess, yeah.
I'm Pierce.
I'm Chris.
I'm Riley.
I'm Jack.
That might have been the best one
We did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did good.
I'll forget next
Getting the hang
week.
of it.
Yeah. And before we get into the movie, why don't we talk about what we're drinking?
It's a truly night.
Oh, it's a truly night.
Truly.
Truly is a truly night.
Truly is a truly night. Yeah. I have
got
a truly strawberry lemonade.
Wow.
Very good.
Okay,
Recommend.
I've got a truly watermelon lemonade.
I've
A
got
little too heavy on the lemon, but good.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
I've got a strawberry one as well.
Oh, I have a watermelon one, but I also just grabbed a pineapple one.
Oh.
So-
Double
Yeah.
double fisting it.
Yeah, double fisting.
God.
Let's get into right away non-spoiler talk. So, what did we watch
boy.
this week?
Chris, what did we give us the recap?
Oh, whoa. This
Well, it was your movie.
Your
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll tell us
I like
what the
pawning
story's
it off on
about.
Chris.
but-
Okay, all right.
You're just telling us what the movie is.
We watched Inseminoid,
Yeah.
1981.
So what was the story, Chris?
There we go.
What was the story? Yeah. It's about some astronauts, one of which makes love to a, well, maybe not consensually,
Love is a strong word.
has some relations
Okay.
with a extraterrestrial. The one actually that did the ad read earlier.
Oh, yeah, we did get that guy.
Yeah.
No,
he
they're
flew
not.
in from planet
They're no aliens.
Zeptar.
Zeptar, yeah.
Yep.
Not here. We're not aliens.
Nope.
And we're also not the same person. I'm bringing that back.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's what is true. Wink.
Wink. Inseminoid. What year did this come out? 1981?
I think so.
Yep.
I remember. 1982.
No, it's 81.
Oh,
I'm
81.
looking at it.
Okay.
I got it pulled up.
The script was written, what I read, in 1977. Which is
Okay.
great. Budget for this movie converted from euros to American dollars. The best dollar was 1.09 million. So not bad. At the box office, it made 1.5 million, which
For context, that's like what, $3.5 million and $4 million in today's money.
yeah, and I've talked about this before, but most movies, the budgeting costs whatever, it's double whatever the actual budget is. So accounting for marketing, that would mean that the budget was really $2 million,
Yeah.
and it made $1.5 million.
And they marketed this movie weird.
Yeah, which I mean, I think it would suggest that this movie lost money, but I didn't see anything about that online about it failing.
Well, did you see
Yeah.
the marketing stunt that they pulled for this movie? Did you read about it? So they sent like VHS copies to like random doors.
Yes, I did
really?
read
Yeah.
that. They did the mail
And
drops.
I was reading that. I can't remember if it was the director or something. He said that he regretted it because he didn't know if like an old lady or
It was one of the
child was going to get
actresses.
to the movie.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine if your grandmother picked this movie up before you could get to it?
or your like 8-year-old
Yeah,
son.
I was gonna say your like 7-year-old child watches it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm glad that's not a method of marketing anymore.
Yeah.
Just dropping the most fucked up movie imaginable.
Oh my God.
Into your mailbox.
We should
Incredible.
bring it back with the first album.
Oh yeah, that'd be a
First,
good idea.
Yeah, who's on third? Just
Random-
drop one.
Good plug.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
plug. Yeah.
God damn.
www.spotify.com/who's on third.
So this movie was. I think Jackie, you read some of this too, but
Yeah.
I'll go over this. The idea of the movie was created by a husband and wife duo who did special effects.
What?
You didn't know that?
No, a husband and wife?
A husband and wife.
Honey, and then the alien fucks her. Think about it. It's art. Or was it the other way around? Honey, and then the alien fucks her. Way better than you ever could.
Well, I don't have details into what that looked like, but it was a husband and wife duo who worked as special effects artists on the director's previous movies.
Okay.
So they came up with the idea. Okay. They said they combined their favorite aspects of science fiction and their practical effects work in film. These two must have been freaks.
Eccentric couple.
Yeah.
Our favorite parts of science fiction movies are eggs and implanting.
Insemination.
Riley, don't look at me like that. I feel so much shame.
I don't think you guys realize how hard that was to watch.
It was hard to watch for me too.
Trust me, hold on.
I thought it was pretty easy to watch.
Oh, whoa. We need a siren.
Well, it helped that I was
Wrong vibe. Cut it now.
We're loose, everybody. We're having a loose pod.
This is a fun fact. When do you think this movie takes place? What year?
2025.
Close, but not even close.
1997.
It's because did you look at my?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The script was written in 1977, and it states that it takes place 2 decades in the future, which would have been 1997.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they thought technology was going to move a lot faster in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now we're stuck with
Well, that's because we went from
the internal combustion engine.
It's because we went from flying in paper planes to going to the moon in like 4 years.
Are you sure we even went to the moon?
We're not getting into this.
we're not starting that.
Did you watch
We
this
don't have
movie? They
enough
were on a
time.
different planet.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
And the movie was highly criticized for its similarity to the film Alien.
As it should be.
Because it came out immediately after the movie Alien.
Yeah, the Alien guys were, I don't know what studio it was, but whoever made Alien, that studio
Ridley
was
Scott.
adamant that this movie did not have any alien influences in it whatsoever. They distanced themselves from this
Yeah.
as best they could.
So before we get into our initial reviews, I'd just like to state that we are not professional movie reviewers or
I am.
critics. Chris is.
Chris
but,
is,
yeah.
but the rest of us.
And we've never made a movie.
Chris has.
Yeah.
He's actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So take everything we say with a grain of salt and watch it for yourself to decide if you like it or not.
Yes. Yep.
But with that said, why don't we give our initial reviews?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Last time I did. Let's start with, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start.
I want Riley to go last because I feel like she's got a lot to say about this.
Yeah. Okay. But
I can go last if you want.
No, it's all right. Just go.
no.
Sorry. We've established it's a spicy night.
It's a
I'm
spicy
tired
Spicy.
and I've been working 8 to 8 all this week and you see that was a little Jack tone in there. Did you catch that?
Is that how I talk?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is that how you're gonna talk like Jack the whole time?
Yeah, maybe.
We should all talk like that.
Yeah, that's a good bit. That's a good bit. Anyways, I honestly don't really know what to make of this movie. When I first started watching it, there was a couple times I had asked like, how much longer do I have for this?
I checked the time about eight separate points in this movie to see how much longer there was.
At one point, I started like kind of dozing off. Riley tried to wake me back up,
Not
and
as
I
he
refused.
did doze. Yes,
Well, hold on.
he did doze off.
Yeah.
He slept. Did not catch.
I
at
started
least
dozing off.
last half of the movie.
You tried kind of waking me up, keeping me in the game, and I decided
not having it.
No, not this one. I'm okay. I don't need it.
Yeah.
So did you not
I
watch
don't
the
listen
movie?
to anything.
I
Chris
did.
says
I
is
see.
good.
I
When
need.
did you
I
watch
see
it?
Sleep.
some bit. the last note that I have is baby E.T.
So you got pretty far.
Yeah,
did pretty far.
I got all right.
Yeah.
I did
About
all right.
halfway.
He was in and out.
Halfway, I feel like.
Yeah, I was in and out towards the end.
You started being in and out towards the middle,
Correct.
and then
I do not deny this.
whatever, bro. Okay.
Listen, just not every movie is gonna, suit
Yeah.
your fancy.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
This
fine.
one wasn't for me.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's the name of this
do we
podcast.
do-
Not every movie is going to suit your fancy.
yeah, but this one wasn't for me. In parentheses. Do we do out of 10 ratings now? For,
Well, I
Yes.
think it's a good idea to give
okay,
a number.
So out
rating.
of 10, what was your rating?
Out of 10,
Quickly.
it's hard. Shut up.
whoa, whoa, whoa!
There's an energy.
Riley, put down the gun.
There's an energy to this podcast.
Yeah. I'm trying to cut it a little slack because of how dated it is.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, but it was very hard for me to get immersed in this movie.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say maybe like a 3.
Wow,
Three,
that might be
being
the
generous.
lowest rated we've had yet.
Being
Yeah.
generous. Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked it.
Really?
I liked
course you
parts
You
of
like
it.
all of them.
I do. I thought it was funny. This was a funny
That's
movie
fair.
to watch.
That's fair.
Now, was it a good movie? No.
Well, that's the premise of this
Oh,
whole
it
deal.
is. That's what we're doing. Yeah. But if you want to watch a movie and go, "What the? Oh my god, this is ridiculous. This is fine." I'm gonna give it a solid 5 out of 10.
You think this
Average.
movie's average?
Well,
You want to rethink that and come back
no.
to
I'm
us?
gonna go with 5 out of 10.
Okay, strong.
5 out of 10.
Okay.
Strong decision.
Standing
here.
on
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So do you want me to go now, Riley?
Yep.
Okay. I did not have a good time with this movie. And it sucks too because I love science fiction movies. So initially I thought, this is a cool setup. I like this premise. It looks okay for a movie that came out in the 80s, But very quickly I found myself
Sorry.
Riley's she's chomping at the bit.
very quickly I found myself bored and wishing it was over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Good letterbox review.
yeah,
1
it's
star. Bored and wished it was over.
yeah, and it was just kind of awful. Yeah, I hated it.
Okay.
I'm maybe 3.5.
All right.
Yeah. Small antidote. I had downloaded this movie to watch it on the plane ride back.
Wow.
Amazon Prime.
Old.
Yeah, Amazon Prime wasn't working, wouldn't let me watch it.
It was doing you a favor.
yeah.
'Cause it didn't want you to watch it. in
Yeah.
public.
Yeah, I'm realizing now it was a blessing in disguise. But Riley, what are your first impressions? Go ahead.
I don't even know where to begin. My rating, I'm with Jack. I think it's a solid 5.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
A solid 5. I didn't like it, but I was entertained.
Okay.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought at times, trying to immerse myself in the 80s was not fun.
Really? I can do it all the time.
No. And the acting sometimes made me grit my teeth, but it's an interesting concept, especially for the 80s, I feel like.
It's
Yeah.
wow.
So
How'd you feel about the soundtrack?
I fucking hated it.
loved it.
I know.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's amazing.
I think I wrote somewhere in my notes. I love a very in your face, loud synth score.
Yeah.
on a movie.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was cool. I thought
I
it was
enjoyed it,
hilarious.
yeah.
It didn't fit the tone of any
At
one
all,
scene
no.
in the movie.
But I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was funny.
I mean, yeah, I wrote a few just general takeaways for the non-spoiler section here. One of which was this movie was a feature-length version of that Scooby-Doo scene where they chase the monster around through different doors in the hallways. I also said, and I think I touched on it earlier, that I think it's a really interesting premise for a movie. It's got good ideas because it's a little, it's obviously a little alien. It's a little bit of The Thing because it impersonates
Very much
people.
the thing, yeah.
Yep.
you know, but it just kind of, I don't know. So most of this movie takes place in a cave, pretty much.
Yep.
And there's a popular, I don't know what popular, but there's this principle in film where if you have all your scenes take place in a confined space, you have to cut away to something bigger every once in a while. Otherwise, your audience is going to get claustrophobic. Some movies do that intentionally, like The Descent. Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Like The Descent does that. The whole thing takes place in a cave, and they do it on purpose. I didn't get the sense they did that on purpose in this.
Because they did cut away to like.
Not to bigger rooms. They cut away to other small rooms.
Well, they did some shots of like the planet's surface.
Right at the beginning.
They did them occasionally. Like I feel like they did it more than once.
I didn't notice a cut back to the surface of the planet after the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Huh.
And so that left me like, it's making me anxious, but not intentionally. It's not doing it for a purpose. They're just doing it because that's the set they had.
Right. It was budget constraints. They could build 3 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
then maybe a couple shots of like a color shifted Nevada desert.
Yeah. And it's literally just people running around and then talking about what just happened. Way too much.
Yeah.
The fight scenes are atrocious.
Yeah, they're not great.
I really, it boiled down to, I thought it was disappointing. I was expecting more from it because it has a very cool poster. It has a cool premise.
And I feel like it's got a cult following.
Maybe
not, but like something about this movie screams cult classic to me.
I could see it.
Yeah, I said somehow it feels both bloated and stripped down to its basics at the same time.
Ooh.
Going in
There's a
on
way
this.
with words.
Yeah.
It just, I thought it would be more visceral. I thought there would be more gross body horror scenes.
Yeah.
I thought when they did show them, it would be worse. But it was pretty sanitary, apart from
for an
a
80s
few
movie,
select
I was
scenes.
definitely let down because I feel like in my experience with 80s horror, they're like, it's always just like really like practical effects, but like gross practical effects.
Yeah, especially with like this off the back of a movie like Alien.
Yeah, directly off the back.
Alien looks better. I mean, it had a bigger, had more resources and stuff.
Better.
But it, if you're going to try to do that sort of thing, I feel like you have to know what you're going to do. And from what I read, it seemed like there was some infighting when they were making it, which probably led to some, some struggles. But I hated it.
I get the sense.
Fucking thought it was bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any non-spoiler takeaways. Can I have some hand sanitizer before we talk about?
Hey, you dirty boy.
Yeah.
You sound like Yoda when you said that.
Yeah.
Dirty boy, you. Is that what Yoda? Is that what he does?
It's just kind of gravelly.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, this, like, I guess it depends on how you're going in to watch it. If you're sitting down and trying to watch a movie and, like, be enthralled or invested, it's not one of those movies. This is one of the movies that you and your friends sit down and you get drunk and you go, we should watch a shitty movie. This is a perfect movie to do it. But other than that, I don't feel like it had any, I don't know, anything else rewarding or like that I could walk away and be like, oh, I'm glad I watched this.
Agreed.
Just entertaining.
Yeah.
And I guess I went into it with that idea. Like I was like, I'm watching this because it's going to be funny and bad. And so I didn't really get, I don't know, too disappointed by it because I didn't go in with any expectations that were, I don't know.
Did anybody come with any Letterboxd reviews?
Oh, I forgot.
Don't worry, because I have several. I have one for each of us.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find ones that don't really spoil anything out of the ones I chose. Here we go. Here's a good one. Me, before watching Inseminoid. Time to watch Inseminoid. Me, while watching Inseminoid. Oh God, I hope no more Inseminoids happen. Me, after watching Inseminoid. This movie would have been better with a lot more Inseminoids.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Follows Roger Corman's #1 rule. Oh, that last one was by Adam Loves Bad Movies. This one is by Deep Space 9mm.
It's a cool username.
Lovely.
It is. Says, follows Roger Corman's #1 rule of filmmaking. Spend your entire budget on a kick-ass poster and none on the actual movie. I might read that one. I might bleep it out though. It's just gonna be a long.
Oh
bleep
yeah,
out.
okay.
This one says it's by System Terror. It says, quote, Mark. Yeah, dude, this movie.
Oh my god.
So that's gonna be bleeped.
Yeah.
This film. This is by. I didn't screenshot the person who wrote it. Sorry, person. But it says this film was a mess. Lots of dumb decisions made by characters. I'm writing this review a mere 16 hours after viewing, and I already can't remember much of it as it was so dull.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be, I think, the name of this podcast too. Is I have the plot pulled up so we can actually remember.
Yeah, as I was watching it, I was thinking Jack is kind of established himself as the plot guy.
Yeah.
He's going to have a tough time because it's a lot of running around in
Yeah.
a cave.
Which I think was a plus for me.
Yeah,
I loved watching them run around.
because they were so
Really?
bad at it.
Hilarious. One of the
nobody
things
can
about
run.
horror movies that I don't understand is that nobody knows how to run in terror.
Yeah.
Everybody who runs in terror, it's like somebody entering stage left during a dance musical, where they're like, and they change directions so frequently, and they like whip behind him. So you just came from that way.
They fall down.
There's 3 tunnels in this movie. Yeah, and they fall over stuff, and then they do it real dramatically, and they like roll. I don't understand, because like, what would you do if you were running in terror?
Exactly that.
Oh, really?
Actually,
I actually think I'd fall down and roll around on the ground for a while,
It
and then
doesn't-
take a break
I
and
don't
stare at the wall
understand.
so
my other
somebody could
favorite
sneak
thing
up
about
on me.
this movie was the whenever somebody tried to like jump on somebody,
Oh my god.
because there was a lot of running and there was a lot of people running into people, and it was incredible. What was the direction? I just imagine the director being like, "No, more flailing. You didn't move your arms enough." So that was, I think, that was a positive for me. But I'm chomping at the bit to get into the plot.
Well, so before we do, I want to say that it has to do with what you're saying. With there's about 4 corridors in this cave. It seems like, and like maybe 6 different rooms. But because they didn't I don't think they did a good job of showing what the layout of this place is.
Yeah.
So I never understood where anybody was in relation to anybody else.
That's fair.
Somebody's in a command center and then somebody else is by a door that goes outside. I don't know how close those 2 things are to each other. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you get there. I don't know why they're not there sooner. It's fucking.
There is a fun line in that movie where they're watching the cameras, and what's her face is kind of spoilers, knocking some cameras out, and they go, "Well, thank God she's not near us." And I was like, I wouldn't know.
Who fucking knows? There's another great scene where he's trying to talk to the girl, the Inseminoid in this.
She's mine.
Yeah, but then he's trying to talk to her back, and I guess it's not coming through. And he's like, "Is it broken? It's not. I guess it's broken."
Everybody in this movie was so fucking dumb, dude.
Oh my God.
Every character's decision, they would go, "Well, at least she's not doing this," and they jump cut. "Oh, she's doing this." Every time.
oh, I think we have some explosives.
Yeah.
Maybe use those first.
Yeah. You should have thought of that earlier.
I mean, I didn't get anybody's name in this.
No, I was yes.
I got Mark.
Yep.
And then
Gary.
I think there was a Gail.
I don't think there was a Susan.
Or no, Sally. Her name.
Was there a Katie?
Her name.
Yes,
the
there's
main
Katie.
girl's name started with the Sandy. Sandy.
okay. Yep.
Yep.
I did see one letterbox
Yeah.
review that said basically maybe this movie would have hit harder if I could have remembered anybody's name.
They had
But from here on out,
very generic
I'm going to
names.
refer to everybody as a Gary and a Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no difference in any of the characters. I didn't know what any of them did. The doctor only because he was in a different outfit and was bald.
And was maybe an alien.
And it was maybe an alien.
Okay, can we get into this?
Okay,
please?
we're jumping into spoiler talk.
Okay, we're getting into spoiler talk.
All right, we open on the freezing planet of whatever it was called.
I have no idea.
A team of 12 Xeno Project archaeologists and scientists. are
You're reading
exploring-
this
I'm
word for
reading this
word.
word for. I don't remember any of the opening of the movie.
Well, let's not do a word for word recap
Recap
of
of
this
the
movie.
Wikipedia page.
Let's hit some points.
Okay, well, let's see. Here's what I remember from the beginning.
For context, we all watched this morning, and none of us can remember.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first thing I wrote down was these guys look way too similar for them to bounce between a pre-sex scene, a guy sweaty and writhing, and a post-sex scene.
Oh,
When was it? Wait, when was the sex scene?
When they were just hugging.
Yeah.
naked.
Okay.
Oh my
that's
god,
right.
yeah, they
I
were
wrote a
like
thing.
just rubbing on each other, bro.
I don't know if they hooked
There's
up.
no
I think
passion.
they just like
they were just like
derobed and hugged.
yeah.
Yeah.
that dude works fast because the setup of that scene was so funny because it's one scene where they're like, oh, you need to go to this room. There's a malfunction. And he says, oh, send this girl down too. And then they get there and he's like, I love you, baby. And then they hug, cuts away to a guy sweating, cuts back and they're naked.
Still hugging.
Oh my God. He
Naked,
moves
still
quick.
hugging.
But that jogged my memory. So a couple of spacemen are in spacemen and space women, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are in the
Astronauts.
tunnel.
Very inclusive movie.
Very equitable podcast.
Yeah.
You know it.
They're all in the cave, and one guy's like, "Don't walk away from me, Gary or Susan or whatever."
They're all Garys.
Yeah.
Don't get too far. And he's like, "Sure." And he goes into a room. The room promptly explodes.
I don't remember that at all.
That's how the movie
Boom.
opens.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Why did it explode? Never one time answered.
What do you think of the spacesuits in this?
I thought that it was, if I was alive in 1981, I would have watched these and gone, sick spacesuits.
After seeing
Yeah.
not only 2001: A Space Odyssey, but also Aliens.
Well, if I was alive in 1981, I would have only watched this movie.
Okay, I gotcha. I thought they were great because it looked like a 10-gallon bucket on their head and a shiny little
was.
jumpsuit.
They did have a weird shot in there of two women. Okay, so there's a line in there where somebody in the control center goes, "Get your ass up here, Gary," and then Gary goes, "Oh, get your ass up here. I know what I'd want to do with her ass."
Yeah, I was like, that's such an 80s line,
it
bro.
is. And then they cut
I
to a
hated
picture
that.
of two women getting into spacesuits, and I was like, okay, what are they just putting things in the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It seemed
Yes.
like it.
it's a very British movie.
Yeah, it was a very British movie. So it explodes. This guy's infected.
Because he grabbed not an alien egg, an alien crystal.
Yeah, and
It's different than Alien, the
but
movie.
sort of the same.
Yeah.
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 He gets real sick.
Very sick.
What happens to him?
Well, he does the funniest chase scene of all time.
In the minecart. the slowest, least tense. I wrote that down. The slowest, least tense chase scene in the world down that minecart.
It didn't help that the music over it was like bow, 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 bow.
He was moving like walking speed.
Yeah.
The other woman gets on the other space cart or whatever.
Oh, they were on different carts?
Yeah, and they were chasing
Oh, so
each
no. So
other.
I thought they were on the same cart, and the entire time I'm like, why is she not attacking this man? I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is poorly put together. The entire time I thought they were on the same
No, they were
cart.
on two. Yeah. All the attacking looked like attacking somebody in a dream, though.
All of the fighting.
It
was
felt like running in a dream.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to get into the fight scenes with
Our MMA correspondent. Well, this is a good place to start. So we've got a classic scenario of a sick man needing to don a spacesuit and escape a hospital.
You know it.
Yeah, you know it. You've
It
seen
happens every movie.
Yeah, every movie.
Every
I mean, it
space
happens
movie.
every day in my life.
And there's
Yeah.
a great scene where he comes across a Gary and a Kate. We're stealing the letterbox, guys.
I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah, so Gary and a Kate in front of the door, and
Yep.
they get in a big fight. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I feel like every hit being the same as what fights are in dreams is a very. I don't think I can give a better description than that. I mean, it just.
What did you think about the wrist lock that he had? The
This
woman in while she was
honestly,
trying to hit the alarm button.
all of the fights kind of look like the worst pro wrestling imaginable.
looks like Logan Paul trying to pro wrestle. Ooh, got
Yeah.
him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Like-
podcast is anti Paul Brothers.
I was,
Oh, that's the wrong one, is it?
yeah, I was like, I meant the other one, but
That
no.
one works.
Wait.
Oh no!
Is that one you
There
wanted?
we go.
You wanted the joke one? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you wanted
Yep,
the
yep.
applause.
This is a
Thank
live
you.
cast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know. I said it. Somebody had to get him. Somebody had to say it. I did.
You're a hero.
If ADHD was a podcast, we would be it.
If
Yeah.
we keep it tight.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Noise.
Okay, so yeah, Gary, I don't know how he dies. I can't remember. Because he
Don't
like
know.
goes into the cave and he does a lot of like he runs into a lot of people in the cave.
Oh wait, I know. He goes and he scares those two girls that were going off before. Maybe it was only one of them, because I think one of them comes back.
Riley has her hand up.
One of them is off. Oh, go ahead.
So, I have names too.
Oh,
I know what Google is.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yes. So Sandy, the Inseminoid. Sandy is the Inseminoid.
Well, she's more of
She was the inseminated.
Oh,
Yeah.
inseminated. Sorry. Okay, yeah, right.
Should've called it
English.
that.
Jinx, by the way.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Sharon. So Sandy was chasing after Sharon, the blonde, poofy kind of hair
They
lady.
all looked.
Yep, they're the same.
Okay, fine.
They're the same people.
They either looked like Pat
And-
Benatar or that girl from Saved by the Bell.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Proceed.
Because I think what happened is she was yelling her, Mark, you can't get away from me, Mark.
Was that
Whatever.
soon in the movie?
Yeah, this is the first chase
No.
scene when they're on the cart.
Yeah, this is the dude still.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
Gary
when
is the doctor.
Yeah, I don't think Gary. No, Gary's not
No.
the doctor. Gary's Jesus Christ.
who fucking knows?
So
Who knows?
back
I think we
to
should just stick with
Okay,
Gary.
back to my
Sorry,
correct
okay.
description as to what happened. He scared off the girls. One of them like stepped in some hole or some shit. Her foot
that was a
got
great
caught.
scene.
Yeah.
He yelled at her so many times. He just yelled her name over and over again at
Yeah.
that point.
The guy in the intercom.
Yeah, he was yelling at that girl. You need to connect the two things.
The
And she's just
blue and
like-
yellow. It's the blue and yellow wire.
She's like, I don't know how.
I thought it
I
was a
can't help you.
very-
You have to do it yourself.
when he went, "Come on, woman! I can't help you, woman!
You have to help yourself.
I can't help you. It's the blue and yellow.
I'm gonna have to remember that.
Do it.
I'm gonna have to remember that for future
Yeah.
relationships.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in the interim between this.
One of the girls shoots him.
Yeah,
With a
I
strange
still want to talk
looking
about
gun.
that
Yeah.
leg scene because she gets
The leg-
stuck.
Oh yeah.
She's like, my suit's failing, and they're like, oh, her
Her
temperature's dropping.
her thermal,
Her thermal
Yeah.
suit.
whatever.
Yeah, and then
Like
she's like,
regulator. Her
I'll
thermal
take
regulator.
my helmet off and put my fucking
Tube
oxygen in my
straight-
mouth.
tube, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after doing that,
Freeze to
I'll try
death.
and cut my leg off.
and then die.
What? It was a flimsy piece of metal.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the 80s. It was hard to buy metal, I think.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
We've discovered on this podcast so far that Jack doesn't understand when anything was made.
I don't
Nope.
know. Somebody help me.
First the sticky notes, now metal.
I think it was invented in the 2000s.
That is when the Industrial Revolution
Yeah.
started.
Hey, wow,
is the
okay, well, that's what
2000s.
I-
Yeah, the Bronze Age was in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. That all these tools were bronze.
Okay.
Yeah, so she cuts her leg off with a bronze saw.
No, that's not
Doesn't finish.
Nope.
Just
Dies.
dies.
Yep.
And nobody
Freezes.
Nobody.
Nobody cares.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Because Gary was too busy like, women. They do it all the time.
It's a hard word to rhyme.
I'm with the right lady. I can have a nice time.
Oh my god.
This is weird.
Wow. That's really
hated
crazy.
this movie.
It's really crazy.
somebody say the word crazy. Oh, did you say crazy?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Crazy.
Oh, no.
I was crazy once.
No.
guys,
They locked me in a room.
No
No.
tangents.
A
in
rubber
this
room.
podcast.
A rubber room with rats. Rats make me crazy.
We gotta move on.
Sorry.
Okay. When does she
That went
get
on for 4 hours. He actually
when does she
cut
go
that
in to
down.
get inseminoided? I don't understand
Inseminoided?
when that happened. Because Gary dies, Katie dies, and
Yep.
then all the other Gary and Katie's are like talking about it.
Yeah.
As you do.
They also don't seem like they care because they like go to dinner and they're like,
Yeah.
Gary died.
Well, one of them kept saying like, we need to abandon this trip. Of course, there's always that one logical person that,
Dies first.
should have listened to. Yeah.
Yeah. But they would never come
And
back.
then, of course, the doctor is like, no, we need to, it's our job to know what's going on, some shit like that. And
When did he become an alien?
I don't think he was ever an alien.
Yeah.
That
was we're skipping a little bit.
Is there anything?
Was she just hallucinating, or like was that actually him?
Okay.
Because he did seem different later. The doctor seemed different later.
Well,
on
and
in
Can we
the
give
movie.
context? Let me finish. 'cause I
No
was-
context needed.
Because I was getting
ahead.
there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
they come back. She wants to abandon the
planet.
planet,
whatever,
right?
yeah.
Doctor's like, no, I believe, again, guys, grain of salt, I could
It
be
was either
totally
that
wrong.
or the one American woman.
Oh, yeah, maybe. And so they send 2 people back, which is Sandy
Yep.
and somebody else, I don't remember who. And Sandy ends up, I think actually that person, no, it was the Mitch. It was the black guy.
Yeah.
And he gets ripped into pieces, I believe is what that was.
Oh, wait, let me.
Yes.
So that was my favorite scene in the entire movie because they go, we're going to lose audio here. And in the movie, there's no sound in the entire movie, and this is what you hear. What are they saying?
I didn't even know that was people
But there was no,
talking.
there was
Ready?
like, no talking, very dramatic facial expressions throughout, probably for the next 20 minutes that
Yeah.
she's getting. So she then gets captured and you, dude, okay, wait, go
Well,
back.
then, no, they get ripped apart.
Dude gets ripped apart. She then kind of goes unconscious, wakes up on this very alien-esque table, and sees Doctor, right? Sees
Yeah.
the Doctor
Yeah,
the
looking
Doctor.
up at her, and he's injecting something in her arm.
He looks
Some green
so
goo.
evil.
He does
He
look
does.
very evil. And this is when I was extremely confused and had no idea what the hell was going on. And then proceeded to watch a very traumatic insemination.
So the Doctor wasn't an alien,
I have
he
no
gets
idea.
killed by Sandy.
but
Yeah, he does.
yeah, but so she was looking up at him, and then she looks back, and it's an alien now, and then
So I believe from, if we're going to get technical, I saw her look to her left and I see the Doctor, and then she's, you know, kind of, you can tell she's like really in her head freaking out, doesn't know what's going on, and looks like back forward and sees the alien. And it like
Yeah, and the alien
moves
does a little
to the alien.
rise. He
Yeah.
kinda like,
so he's working with the aliens.
that's
Well,
what
but he
I
gets
thought.
killed by the alien.
Well, every time the inseminated girl sees him, she freaks out
Yeah.
because he was there.
But was that just all a dream? Was that a hallucination?
Well, so the
where the
director did
aliens
say
maybe
that his
pretending.
intention was to make it as dreamlike as possible. That scene, I think, probably on account of him not wanting to get the movie pulled,
Yeah.
or rated something ridiculous. But I don't know, because then they do another scene where she's in the doctor's office, and she's like, "Oh, my arm hurts," and the doctor's like, "Let me see. I gave you an injection, didn't I?" And you're like, "What?"
But then he
And he
says
goes,
in the other arm. Yeah.
But then he looks at her arm, and she's got an injection.
But it's like
Yeah.
boiling and has like that texture of the guy that originally went crazy and had that
Crazy.
chase.
Oh my god!
Did you say crazy?
That was
Oh my
crazy once.
God.
Stop.
They locked me in a room.
I don't have
A
the
rubber
patience for this tonight.
Rubber room with rats.
There's a lot of
Rats
rats.
make me crazy.
There is not a whole lot to say about the insemination scene other than what the fuck.
Yeah.
There is a lot to say about it because I
There
loved
is.
the part when it zooms out of the table and then it spins around in circles
Oh yeah, that was a great,
like a helicopter.
great scene. Great scene.
And they bring that back multiple times when
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
recalling.
Yeah, it's
it.
literally the same cuts, just repeated
Over and
with
over,
dramatic faces, very weird sound, no
Yeah,
talking,
bloop, bloop.
nothing, just very. It's so weird. Go watch it. I don't even.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I liked the part where she was like looking at the alien and she goes, "Why I gotta get you," which is fair, I think, but just the like 1920s boxer stance. Cool.
You want to hear my favorite line from the movie so far?
What is it?
When so the inseminated lady is inseminated now. She's got alien babies and she's crazy. Crazy.
She's already
We're not
crazy,
biting.
or
We're
she's-
not biting.
Stop.
And so she's running around attacking people and stuff. And they want to call the mission, right? And one of the guys says, "Oh yeah, that'll sound good. The team were terrorized by an expecting mother."
Yeah,
That's a funny
We
line.
should watch the rest of the movie when the team is terrorized by an expected mother.
That's a funny
Yeah.
line.
It is a good line.
That is a pretty good line.
I thought it was a little on the nose, to be honest.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a funny delivery. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was okay.
From there, they
They just fight her for like 45 minutes. There's one fun line in there where one of the guys, it's in that same scene, they cut back because they've tried to fight her a couple of times because she kills that woman with the scissors.
But she's so strong.
Yeah, she goes, she's so strong.
Oh, also she's like switching in and out of her actual personality and her
and the
like,
intelligence.
Yeah,
the alien.
her controlled and alien.
Yeah, the rest of the movie is just them coming up with a plan to defeat her and her doing it first.
Yes.
Every single. We should get the explosives.
Her,
she blew it up.
her in the explosive.
We should get the laser blaster and blast her. Oh no, she's stolen the laser blaster and she's blasted us. So and then here's a weird. She drinks the blood of a bunch of people that are like the dead guys.
Yeah,
She
like,
literally ripped him open.
Yeah, I thought she was eating them
Why?
I don't know.
to feed her children.
Yeah, feed the babies.
I guess so.
Bad mother, by the way. She gives birth to the alien kids, the 2 alien twins, and then immediately leaves them like on a tarp on the ground to go and chase a guy, and is shocked when she comes back and they're not there. It's like, really?
Yeah. Why did you go chase the guy?
It's like these aliens seem fairly intelligent.
Yeah, that's my other favorite.
You'd
part.
think they'd understand that what a diversion is.
That was the funniest scream in all of cinema. That line. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh yeah, I got it. These are baby alien noises.
So, okay, I'm glad you caught that scream because I'm glad you caught that scream because a lot of the reviews I saw were pointing out that scream and saying that they used it in the game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
It's a full circle moment.
I know.
Yeah.
Too bad that episode is gone forever.
Yeah, gone forever.
It is.
www.
Thanks, I gotta bleep that now, Riley.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to watch my profanity.
Yeah, that's why in the last episode you'll notice that only in the last episode you will notice that all of Riley's every time she curses, it's bleeped out
Yes.
because she was nervous about
Per
it. so.
request.
I had to put in more work.
I am committed to professionalism.
We are a professional podcast.
Yeah, we're a very fucking professional podcast.
That's why we've drank one box of Trulies in the last 20
Well, there's
minutes?
4 of us.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Would we like to go get more after this?
maybe. So after
We're in a podcast.
Christ,
Sorry,
I don't know what happened for the rest of the movie.
from what I remember, I was hoping
Yeah.
it was over by that point, but
This
they run
is about
around.
when I knocked out, so
They run
I'm out
around.
for the count.
They fight her a little bit. They try to lure her outside so she dies. Oh no, she can breathe the air.
Yeah,
Who would have fucking thought?
yeah. I remember
Imagine.
her blowing up the door to the room they were holed up in.
That was
at one
funny.
point.
Why did it blow out? That didn't make any sense.
No.
No, but that's the theme for this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. That's a good point. I like the part where Mark, one of the Garys, goes, "What are you going to do, Mark? I'm going to kill her."
Yeah.
And then he runs around and he gathers all the explosives and puts them down. And then they cut to a shot of her picking all the explosives. I'm like, oh my God. What? Jesus Christ.
Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, then he gets like dumped at a big. Nobody died I cared about.
Well, it's
There's
hard
a-
when
You
you
didn't
don't care
give-
about anybody.
Yeah, you didn't give enough chances to care about anybody.
I don't think there was anything to care about.
No,
There was
that
no
was it.
backstory in the
No,
entire
yeah,
movie.
and there was no humanizing features of anybody.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nobody
like-
did anything redeemable.
Which again, it's hard to care about people when you can't tell them apart because they all look so similar. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just
Yeah, there was a scene where like Mark comes around a corner and one of the women, I don't know who, and I don't know where she was, but she's just like poked up on like a steel thing on the wall, and the music's like wow.
she screams so fucking loud at that part.
I
Yeah.
got so mad at that.
I was like, what the
that
fuck
part,
are you
she's-
doing?
yeah.
You're trying to hide from this person who's trying to kill you, and your first reaction to seeing a dead body is screaming at the top of your lungs.
All of them died because the inseminated heard them screaming in the tunnels and then went
Yeah.
that direction.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. Oh,
Well, what I thought was funny is she screamed. It then cuts to the Inseminoid, and you see her,
said something different every time.
Inseminy.
and you can see like her face, and which kind of confirms that she heard the scream. But then she addresses Mark and goes back to Mark. You can't hide from me, Mark. And I'm like, that
I
was a
think
Mark.
they were trying to do a thing where it was like, look, like she's fighting the alien intelligence. She's like trying to, when she was screaming, that was her, like being like, oh my God, what's happening to me? And then when she'd be like, Mark, you can't hide from me, that's supposed to be the alien talking.
Okay.
Which again, they didn't care, so
No.
they just kind of did it. So much screaming in this movie.
So much screaming.
My one part I really liked was when one of the Garys and one of the Katies goes, "She won't find us in the derelict passageways," and then they go in there and they scream, and then Sandy goes, "Maybe I should check out the derelict passageways."
Yeah, it's like there's 4 passages in this entire fucking place. What do you mean?
Yeah,
it's like
nobody
4
knows. I don't know. We're fucking burning through this because nothing happened.
We're still making good time.
Are we?
Yeah, we're at 45 minutes.
Oh, good.
So,
The more we talk about this movie, the less I like it. I almost want to like rescind my 5 out of 10 rating.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because it was...
I thought my 3 rating was generous.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fun to watch, kind of.
Yeah.
If you're in the mood for that kind of movie, it's fine. And you can shoot the shit about it, but don't try and talk about it with anybody, because nothing happened.
Yeah. And so I'd like to get into the final scene. If anybody has any things to talk about in the movie before the final scene, get into that.
I think I stopped taking notes. Let me just...
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, the only thing I think... Oh, Gary says "come on, woman" a lot in this movie. Okay.
Again,
1980s.
Yeah.
Why are they caring for the babies?
That was odd.
The
was
babies kind of look like small ETs to me.
The babies ate somebody, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ate the girl taking care of them. But I don't know why
yeah.
they didn't just immediately. Which part of it is like, okay, if they're, are they scientists? Is that what they are?
Technically, but they were like,
Yes.
they cut to a scene where she's like, they're like cradling the babies.
Yeah, and so it's like, I get if you're a scientist, you're like, well, we can't just kill these because we want to study them. But set that up, which they didn't.
Or kill them and then study them.
I mean, if they're trying to kill you, which they very obviously are, fucking neutralize the threat.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The other thing I had written down, and this is, I think, the movie's attempt at a twist, was one of the Garys, I think actually Mark, like the main guy, if there
the
is a
Garys,
main
Mark.
guy, was running away from Sandy. And he gets to the top of the mine shaft and he turns on the cart, and the cart slowly eats down
And she
the road.
stands there.
And she's standing there like, bye.
It
And the
reminded
cart's
me-
moving so slowly. They cut to her face, and then there's like a bang, bang. And you're supposed to think, I think, like, oh, they got her.
Yeah.
But then immediately, she just like, ah.
It reminded me of that scene from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
When he's going very slowly
He's
towards the
like,
guy
"Oh, no."
with the steamroller. And he's like, get out of the way.
Jesus Christ. It's like, this movie was like being edged.
Your dad, Mark's going to love that.
Don't dox him. He was in this movie.
Your dad was not in this movie. Anybody else have anything before I talk about the insemination scene was gross.
Yeah, we kind of brushed
Yeah.
past it, and I think for good reason.
They put
Yeah.
a tube in the woman and
And you
Green eggs and ham.
Green eggs and
You
ham.
visually
That's
see
the
the
name of the
eggs
podcast.
like
That's the name of the
rolling down the
podcast.
tube. That's what
Yeah.
got me.
Green eggs and ham. Yeah,
You
it was
guys-
a clear tube.
I get it. It was hard for you to watch, but
It was a
you
clear
are
Asian,
men. There is that feeling of if this happens. No, listen. You could
Don't
never
paint us
really
in this light.
understand the true fear that I felt watching this. I could feel it.
I was acknowledging while I was watching it that this was probably not going to be fun for you, Riley. This is what I was going to say. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the final scene because I have,
Yes.
a thought.
Okay.
Which is that's the coolest part of the movie is when those pilots are flying in.
They're cool.
That's a cool part. And I thought what would have been a way cooler movie is if they condensed the entire movie so far into just the opening scene. And then the rest of the movie is about these pilots that come down and are like investigating what happened. They discover that, oh my God, yeah, there are aliens here. And then some of the people are still alive, but are actually aliens impersonating the person, and they're trying to keep these aliens from leaving the planet. That's a way more interesting movie.
Maybe we should make our own movie and have Pierce direct.
I mean, I agree. Those characters, especially the pilot with the cowboy hat, was the coolest character in the entire
I want to know
movie.
more about them.
Yeah.
That's way cooler. And yeah, that plot is a little derivative of like The Thing and Alien, but it's because those are cooler, better movies.
Yeah, indeed. It just, yeah, I'm on board with this. I mean,
And it's got a super lackluster ending.
yeah, it just ends. And then they do a fucking...
The little
oh
babies
my
in the trunk.
God.
The little baby aliens in the
I
trunk.
stopped watching. I scrubbed through to get the see what the scenes were. And it looked like they did like a 5-minute outro of just repeats of the shots with the actors' names over them.
But before that, the two pilots are walking around in the base trying to figure out what happened, and then it cuts back to the airplane or the spacecraft, and it zooms back past the pilot in the cowboy hat to a trunk, and the trunk opens. What's in there? Baby aliens.
Oh, baby aliens. Yeah. Who put them in the trunk?
They snuck in there, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they
Okay.
grew up fast.
Yeah, because also after they ate one human, they grew like 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went through a full 9 months
What?
pregnancy cycle in a day.
An hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's super lackluster. And then it goes immediately into the credits, which are just reused shots from the movie.
Yes.
And at first I thought, oh God, there's more. There's more of this movie.
I
and then
had to go back and like rewatch the last half because I was like, is this supposed to be part of the movie?
yeah, I was like, I better go back 45 minutes.
No, okay, sorry. Last half was not the right term.
I better rewatch
meant, like,
the insemination.
I had to go back in from when it cuts to the end and then the repeated visual credits.
Yeah, it was lackluster.
Yeah. Man, talking about this movie is bumming me out. This movie sucks.
Yeah, it was not a fun time.
We have our worst. Should we go into
Movie boo.
to the
It's a
ranking?
good-
Yeah, I
then?
think
Good
this is a
transition.
Yeah,
to,
see, I'm good at this.
Transition.
You're right.
Transition.
Right.
Ranking.
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 What
It's
do we think?
time to rank.
I'm gonna put that in. So it's time to rank the movie. We're in
Yeah.
the ranking section where we rank this movie against all of the others we've watched so far on our list. So, what's everybody feeling with the ranking so far?
Dead last, man.
Dead first.
First, you're right.
Dead first,
Dead
yeah.
first.
As in the worst.
Yes.
Inseminoid #1.
That does bring me into a question I have, but we can finish
Finish
this
our ranking.
section
Yeah, yeah.
before we get into
Yeah,
that.
we can get, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
You know,
thinking-
I was 5 out of 10 at the beginning of this. We talked about the movie. I realized how little there was to actually talk about in this movie. This is fun to watch, like I said, and then never talk about ever again. Dead first.
I'd even say it's not even fun to watch. I didn't have a good time.
No.
I was wishing it was just an
over.
hour instead of an hour and a half. Yeah, I don't know, Chris. Where do you feel it on the list?
Oh, I've been able to relatively get through all of the other movies. So I think this one's coming in #1 for me.
I'm not going to argue with the group consensus.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Our first unanimous decision, I think.
Yeah.
Dead first.
Yeah, I
well,
think
yeah,
it's.
this movie
I'm curious, Riley.
fucking
So you
sucked.
were also a 5 out of 10 at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, what
was-
changed?
Or at the
I was
beginning of this
gonna ask you
podcast.
that.
I was, yeah.
I'm probably down to a 3.5.
I might be lower.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's you can't even riff about it.
No.
No.
If somebody's still sitting here, we tried. We did all we could.
Yeah, thank God this podcast
And like
is only an hour.
riffing about this movie ends up either one being like really scraping the bottom of the barrel, or two,
Yeah.
there's some low hanging fruit in this movie that almost feels like too ridiculous to rip on,
Yeah.
i.e. the insemination scene.
Yeah.
It's hard to rip on that.
Because that's
dude.
like the big scene in the movie, and we skipped over it.
Yeah.
Because we're like,
I don't want to talk
who
about
cares?
it.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the best way to describe it.
If I was alive in the 1980s, though, I would have gone to school the next day. I imagine I would have watched this when I was in high school, in
Yeah.
British high school. What do they call it? Here's what I would have done.
Grade school?
Oh, Chauncey.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I've seen a movie.
You've seen a film, have
I've
you?
watched a film.
Oh, cheerio.
They were just invented. Yeah. In the UK, at least.
Sure.
Yes. It was called Inseminoid.
Really?
Yeah, it
What was it
awoke
about?
feelings in me that I've never thought of before.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of feelings?
Oh, green ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to check out this movie.
You should. They sent it to me on my stoop.
Did they?
Yes. Oh, hello, Margaret.
Hello, sir.
Oh, Margaret, it's so good to see you. We just watched Inseminoid.
Inseminoid.
Yes.
Tell.
It's the 80s. That's
Oh.
Women.
Did I hear someone say Inseminoid?
Oh, hello, Victavius.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yes.
My favorite spot was when she spun around on the table.
Oh,
It was amazing.
quite.
Yes. The
Sounds like
pinnacle
I would not
of
be
film.
watching this movie.
Well,
What?
no. Not with us.
No.
I hate this bit.
Yeah, this sucks.
That went on way
Okay,
too long.
can I ask my question?
Yeah.
I feel like
for
a
it.
big part of why this movie is kind of shite is
Can you say shite
Because-
in a more British accent?
shite.
There we go.
There you go.
You're gonna like
Rubbish.
rubbish.
Car park.
I think that's Boston.
Okay.
Okay, but now we're in Boston. We just watched the movie. Hey, I'm down here at the Harvard Yard.
Got my kinds.
Jesus, make it stop.
Why it's shite is because I think it was filmed in the 80s. So should we have
bold
a year
stance.
cap on? No, immediately no.
Have
Okay,
you seen
immediately no.
Have you seen movies from the 80s?
Maybe no. I don't.
Have you seen?
Is this the first movie you've seen from the 80s?
So
Name a popular movie from the 80s.
so the
2001:
thing
A Space Odyssey came out in '69. I
Yeah,
think.
The Thing came out in the 80s.
was a
Star Wars came out in the 80s.
Okay,
Yeah.
disclaimer, I'm not cultured. I spent most of my life playing sports and watched very basic movies.
The only
Never had
media-
TV.
The only media she has consumed is the hit show Charmed.
Charmed, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
here we go.
Yep.
You ready for some movies that came out in the 80s?
Yes.
The Outsiders, The Goonies,
Good.
Oh, I seen The Outsiders very long time ago. I don't remember
Goonies
what
is
happened.
Stand By Me,
Nope.
Die Hard,
Really?
Nope.
Die Hard
Yeah.
came out in the '80s.
Yeah.
Top Gun,
Yep.
E.T.,
Yes.
The Breakfast Club,
Yes.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Parts.
Ghostbusters, Predator. I mean, Predator came out in the 80s. Back to the Future.
Predator?
Yeah.
I've seen the newer ones.
Back to the
Really?
Future came out in the 80s.
Never watched Back to the Future.
You should.
Yeah. It's,
The Shining came out in the 80s.
Nope.
Friday the 13th came out in the
Nope.
80s. Blade Runner came out in the 80s.
Nope.
You should watch that one too.
Like, these are movies that have come out in the 80s that are incredible. So you can make good movies in the 80s. I mean,
Okay.
the 80s was just at the beginning of kind of the blockbuster phase, which
Yeah.
was started off by Star Wars in the late 70s. Before that, most movies were pretty awful,
Yeah.
honestly. There's a few that are good, but the 80s was when, like, Terminator came out in the 80s. I mean, you can make good movies
Sci-fi
then.
took off, I think, in the '80s, and I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
this is something. It fell through the cracks. The quality bureau of the UK
Well-
really dropped the ball on this one.
yeah. Yeah.
Footloose
but I
came out in
think,
the 80s.
you know, with the big kind of surplus of sci-fi movies, they're not all going to be 10s, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be some bad ones that come out trying to ride the wave.
Yeah,
so-
for every alien, you have an Inseminoid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a axiom to live by.
It
Yeah.
is.
For every alien, there's an Inseminoid.
Yeah. Well, how do we feel about going on to...
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Well, we
we've
watch
said
it
as
next. What are we watching next?
I think it's just me left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Wait, I thought you picked the first one.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Was it me?
I
curious.
picked the first one.
Yep, and then it was you, and then it was me.
All right, well,
Also,
give it to us.
I should apologize.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Although I shouldn't apologize because the premise of this podcast is to watch bad movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I don't
as
know
such,
if
I, don't
I did good
apologize.
by picking so far the best movie, or if you did good by picking the worst.
You know, it's unclear.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us know.
No,
We're not
I
really
think
sure.
both are wins in their
Yeah.
own
Okay.
way.
Yeah. I'm on board.
I don't even have to open the list. I know what I'm picking.
Okay.
What is it?
Perfect. What we watching?
We are going to watch next week Skinamarink.
Oh.
Yes.
I already don't like this.
Yes. I know a little bit about this movie.
Skinamarink.
All that I know is that the reviews for it are
A straight line.
yeah, straight line. It's very everybody has their own opinion. Everybody thinks differently about it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it slightly before for that reason.
It's not even
But
rated.
I'm excited to see it.
Hell yeah. I don't think this movie was rated either.
Wait, was this in
Inseminoid.
Yeah,
2022?
this one was R.
This is
Oh, it
2022
was.
movie?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the little teaser for it?
Yeah.
2 children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing and all of the windows and doors in their home have vanished.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
All right, we're watching it.
We're watching.
Yeah. Right now.
Skinamarink.
Right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we're watching next week. If you want to follow along, watch that, and then next week we'll talk about it,
Yeah.
and you can play along with us if you want.
Yeah.
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 We're all pals.
Yeah. But with that,
Any final thoughts? Any final recommendations? I'm gonna go with don't watch it.
Don't watch this movie.
Don't watch this movie.
yeah, don't watch. Inseminoid.
I've had some character growth in this podcast.
He's
Yeah.
grown,
Yeah.
folks. He's grown.
Agreed.
Yeah, but thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out on YouTube. We've got a YouTube
Yep.
channel.
Follow us
at
on-
the Dookie Spookies podcast.
Do you
Follow
want to
us.
spell Dookie Spooky? Because all of our socials are spelled differently.
So
Love that.
the YouTube channel, which if you're listening to this, you're already on it.
yeah, so you're good.
Yeah.
DOOKISPOOKIES is the podcast. We've got a
Check us out on Twitter at Dookie Pod.
yeah.
That's with a Y.
Yep.
And then on Instagram, I think, by the same name.
Yep.
Yep.
Dookie
At
Pod everywhere else.
Send us an email at dookiespookies.podcast.com. I mean, at gmail.com.
Yeah.
But that's Dookie Spookies with an IE.
Yes.
Yep.
Like the name of the podcast.
Yeah, like the name of the podcast.
If
I
you
think that's fine because that embodies our entire
Yeah.
group.
if you enjoyed the show, feel free to donate to our Venmo at Dookie Spookies podcast.
Is that set up?
yeah,
It will be after this episode. It'll be routed directly into my bank account. So all donations spoken.
This is a 100-0 split that we do at this podcast.
Yeah, Chris gets everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's gotta make that Inseminoid remake.
Yeah.
As director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait for it.
Nobody in Hollywood will give him any money.
No.
He's been blacklisted.
So,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
It's because he's such a weirdo.
It's because he's so smelly.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It's not true. It's not true. I'm sorry.
I smell good.
Are you so?
That's how it's gonna fade out. Like I use soap and then it's gonna end.